Hello everyone, welcome to this ZBrush course in which we'll learn to model an Egyptian beetle and then we'll export it to Substance Painter so we can set the colors and the materials. Alright? So this course will be different from the others because we'll make the modeling in ZBrush, optimize all the model to later get two copies, one in low poly and another in high poly, in order to later create that final composition in Substance Painter, which, as we'll see, it's one of the most used in the industry. Alright? We're going to start by opening the program. In this case, we'll use ZBrush 8, but you can use another program if you like. In this case, we'll use this one, and we'll also use the interface that I use professionally to work. As you know, in order to load an interface, we just navigate to Preferences, Load UI, and we'll load the file from whatever we have it. In my case, it's here. I'll share this file with you. Click Open, and the program will warn you about having to restart the program so the changes are effective, so you just close the program and reopen it, okay? And when you reopen it, you'll have the interface that I use, all right? So let's start with it. Let's go to Lightbox. And we're going to insert a sphere in Dynamesh. This one, for example, okay? Disable the perspective view. And, well, we're going to set a background image as a reference. We can search some images through Google. And as I say, though in this case we're doing an Egyptian beetle, well, you can do other things. Why not? The procedure is the same. You will see it. You know, when you learn to make this object from this course, you'll be able to make other simpler ones. So, nothing else. Let's start. We're going to load, first of all, the background image. And for this, we'll go to Draw, and in Front, Map 1. We import the image which will serve as a reference. I have it around here. And this is what we'll use in order to guide ourselves. Then we'll obviously make a totally different beetle, okay? All right. Here we can already start with the symmetry activated. You know, the hotkey is X. We can see here that we have the symmetry. In this case, we're interested in the X-axis symmetry. And we can now start to create all this geometry using Move Topological. This is very easy. It's just about starting more or less to shape all of these. How do we work? Using a sphere in Dynamesh, you already know from here we can update this geometry. Okay? Holding Control and dragging the mouse, we can recalculate the mesh. So we're going to keep doing this shape bit by bit. Don't worry about working with other view, and we'll just work with the front view for now. If we see that the geometry is too stretched, we just hold Control and drag the mouse so we update the geometry. Remember that we can click here in order to check regularly how it's working on the mesh. We keep updating, and for more critical points like this one, we do exactly the same. We just make the brush smaller and we keep shaping it and updating. Obviously, if we want, we can raise the Dynamesh resolution, so when all the shapes are smaller and hard to model, like for example this zone here, we can then raise this resolution a bit, for example 56, and update again this geometry. See? This way, thanks to Dynamesh, we can join these parts when necessary. We can also work, obviously, with a drawing we made and then trace that drawing the same way. Good. We're going to make this part too. As you see, without any difficulty, we keep stretching the mesh. Okay, more or less to copy the background image. And we keep updating as always. We can also use the inflate brush, so we can inflate the zone in critical points, so we can join it here. Alright. We're going to finish improving this. And for example, we can make another hole. If anytime the background image bothers us, we can just disable it clicking the floor button. Notice how I keep combining Move Topological with Inflate. And just by using these two brushes, we keep creating the shape. Good, so whenever we have defined the shape enough, what I was saying before is that we can raise the resolution in Dynamesh, so we can adjust best the zones with a denser mesh, okay? So we can, for example, raise these to 312 and update the mesh. Alright? We simply make these parts thicker so we don't lose them when updating. Let's update again. And let's shape all these back zone here. So basically we adjust it like this. So it doesn't bother us. Later we'll do a symmetry and we'll join both symmetries in one model. We update the symmetry again. And as we see, we have a quite dense mesh. We're going to save this document in order to have everything safe. Good. We're going to keep shaping everything we see we have to. Okay. If, for example, here are things we need to inflate, tweaking a bit the intensity around 10, kind of, it's okay. We can start inflating these zones. Now the next step is, as I was saying before, making a symmetric copy in order to join them together and apply symmetry in the z-axis in this case. So for this, we disable the symmetry, go to Z plugin, subtool master, and we go to mirror. And here we apply the mirror tool in the z-axis, and we set the resulting subtool to be together in one piece or separate. Okay, so we'll do it separately for now. Hit OK. And as you see, another piece is created. Let's pick one of these pieces. Okay. This one, for example. And using move, we'll set this zone like this, more or less. Don't worry, because we can modify this perfectly. We'll set it like this, more or less. All right. And now we just take the top part, this first beetle here, and we click merge down. Okay. With these, we join both parts, and we get everything to be into Dynamesh. Now we could perfectly, before modifying Dynamesh, we could modify a bit these zones that are left here, okay? So they don't bother us. Remember, we can apply the symmetry on the x-axis and now on the z-axis too, all right? If we see the symmetry is not happening because we have to do something before, which is going to move, press this button. There it is, like this. See? Controlling these buttons, the one with the house and this one here, and activating these once again, local symmetry, we get to make the symmetry match. Okay? So we can just shape all these zones and change them if we want to. Good, let's merge all these into an only model, recalculate the mesh, hold Control and drag, and we join the whole piece for good. Good, we have this model. Okay, let's make a backup just in case. So we click duplicate, hide this copy, let's switch to the other, the new one we did, and we'll apply all these as that remesh, okay? Adjust more or less around here, hit set remesh with symmetries activated, and we wait. With this, what we'll do is optimize, as you see, all the geometry, all right? Now the model has way less polygons. Here we can see the mesh. So we could start to model a bit. To apply some more Dynamesh, if we wanted, in order to prepare all this geometry to later apply details and what will actually give this object its look. Details, but now we're making the main structure. Let's make some subdivisions now. That's fine, 3 is alright. And we'll apply another Dynamesh. Hit no. And now we have these in Dynamesh again, but a bit more subdivided. And now this is all about using the graphics tablet, which we'll go on to install next, finishing shaping up some details, like for example these holes here, if we want to drag them, put some more volume on it. For now we won't put any detail on, but I do want us to start setting the geometry as we want it to be. With this, what I mean is this part, the main part, is done. So we'll leave this part of the course here, and in the next one, with this object in Dynamesh already and with many more detail, we can finish contouring the shape in order to make some details on the model. So we'll leave this here and see you later.